Good morning. We have someone that's connected by phone. The last four numbers of your phone number are 9243. Could you push *6 to unmute and let me know your name?
Tracy Lake.
Shoot, I do it all the time. Good morning. We have someone that's connected by phone. Oh, whoops. Thank you, Tracy.
All right. Hey, did you know that we're not on YouTube?
Let me hold on. I gotta mute because we are on YouTube.
I can't get it on my computer then, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, we're on YouTube now. I don't know what the issue was earlier. Yeah. Are we at? Can you connect now?
I'm looking right now.
Okay, thanks.
Nope, can't get on it.
That's weird. Okay, I will check it out and see what I can do.
Alrighty. Thanks, John. Mm-hmm.
Are we open? Sorry. Thank you.
I don't think we ever really closed.
Okay.
No legal issues.
What?
No legal issues. It's an open court. I said no legal issues. It's an open court.
Only if the door is open.
Only if the door is open.
Right.
Yeah. It could be like the cat in the box issue. Like, we just won't check. That way, one way or the other.
All right. This one's recess. This is for the next session. I'm Lindy Walker presiding.
Please have a seat.
He's on.
Yes, I was just looking. All right, the first case that I'm going to call needs the interpreter, please. Do we just have one interpreter case?
No, we have 2 pages worth.
Oh, okay. Thanks. All right, I'm going to call Mauro Cervantes Avalos.
Se encuentra Mauro Cervantes Ábalos.
And sir, you are on mute.
Señor, el micrófono está apagado.
No, está prendido.
No, it's on. Sí lo escuchamos.
I can now hear you, thank you.
Gracias, sí lo escuchamos.
And for the record, could you please make your introduction?
The interpreter, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Courtney Acosta Grates, ACOSTA, Washington State Certified Spanish Interpreter.
Okay, thank you.
And just to start out, Your Honor, I'm not sure if the court had the state's motion to, or I guess it's the agreed motion to dismiss for cause numbers XZ0322001 and XZ04267170.
Y la fiscal dice, no sé si su señoría tiene la moción propuesta para la desestimación de los casos XZ03-22001 o XZ04-26170.
I do have the order of dismissal for both those cases.
Y yo sí tengo la orden de desestimación de ambos casos.
Mr. Jacob, do you have anything to say about this dismissal?
No, Your Honor.
Licenciado Jacob, ¿usted tiene algo que decir acerca de la desestimación? No, su señoría.
I would just say that this represents a lot of hard work on behalf of the defendant, and we appreciate the state's willingness to acknowledge that hard work with a dismissal at this time.
Simplemente le informo que esto representa muchísimo trabajo de parte del acusado y apreciamos la voluntad de la Fiscalía de reconocer ese trabajo con la desestimación de los casos.
I have signed that order of dismissal. Congratulations.
He firmado la orden de desestimación. Felicidades.
I do know that you put in a lot of hard work.
Y reconozco todo el trabajo que usted ha hecho.
Ms. Plyman, is the state taking any further action on the sentence compliance case?
Fiscal Flyman, la Fiscalía tomará alguna otra acción acerca del caso de cumplimiento.
When I reviewed the docket, it looks like we moved to strike the violation on the 9Z146732 case last hearing on December 16th.
Está revisando la lista de casos y al parecer promovieron tachar la infracción del 9Z146732 en la última audiencia del 16 de diciembre.
And I believe Ms. Blake is on the line if she has anything to add on that. I think it was a probation violation originally.
Se encuentra la señora Lake en la línea si tuviera ella algo que decir al respecto. Yo creo que al inicio era una contravención de las condiciones liberatorias.
Ms. Lake?
Señora Lake.
Your Honor, I have nothing to add at this point. Mr. Cervantes Avalos is in compliance.
No hay nada que decir en este momento, su señoría. Señor Cervantes Ábalos está en pleno cumplimiento.
All right. Sir, I am going to strike that violation.
Señor, entonces voy a anular entonces esa infracción.
Está bien.
Great.
I don't believe that there is a need for any further hearings at this time. Ms. Plyman?
Y en este momento no creo que hace falta celebrar ninguna otra audiencia por el momento, señora Plyman.
Given Mr. Cervantes Avalos' compliance, I don't believe there is a need for one either.
De igual manera, en vista del cumplimiento del señor Cervantes Ábalos, no creo que sea necesario otra audiencia más.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Señora, muchas gracias.
Igualmente, muchas gracias.
Likewise. Thank you.
Okay. let's
Gracias,
see.
Mauro. Adios.
Adiós.
I'm just taking a look at who else is here. Mr. Shadowski.
Morning, Your Honor. I have one matter on the calendar. It's State of Washington versus Megan Hillier, and she is present via Zoom there. Megan, can you turn on your camera or unmute your microphone?
Yes.
There she is. And so, Your Honor, this comes on for pretrial. This was set over my request in an effort to facilitate the resolution to Ms. Hillyer's case. I spoke to Ms. Plyman this morning in between the 8:45 and 10:30 calendar. She did convey an offer that Ms. Hillier and I need to review, I think, in further detail. There's some other implications. So we're simply asking to set this over 1 week to the 10:30 calendar as well.
Ms. Plyman?
No objection.
All right. This case will be set on for January 27th at 10:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Megan, you and I will be in touch, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And that's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Ann Goff. Ann Goff. And if an individual is appearing by phone, you need to hit *6 to unmute yourself. Okay, I do not hear a response or see a response.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I don't have any information from the court regarding Ms. Goff's appearance. I don't know if Ms. Plyman or I believe Ms. Lake might have been on, had anything else to share, since she was on pretrial monitoring for the court's conditions of release.
Your Honor, so Ms. Goff was last seen on January the 5th. At that time, she was released on her promise to appear in each of her cases with the condition that she report daily to probation by noon and return for her hearing today. At that time, the state objected to Ms. Goff's release and asked to have Ms. Goff held on the $500 for each case that she was previously held on. With the understanding that she had these conditions, I was notified by probation on January 11th that Ms. Goff had failed to check in at all since her release. I will defer to probation if they've had any contact since that communication. Ms. Goff does have concerning appearance history on her cases. She was previously held in custody for a lengthy period of time, and I believe that was part of the reason, at least, that defense counsel gave for the request to have her released. However, it's concerning to the state that Ms. Goff's Ms. Goff's appearance history is concerning to the state, but also based on her health and safety concerns with the prior records that have been made. And then obviously with her lack of communication with both defense counsel and with probation today. So I'd ask to note the failures to appear. I'll defer to the court as to whether a summons making the next hearing necessary is appropriate, or issuance of a warrant in each of these cases at this time.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Lake?
Your Honor, Ms. Goff has not made any contact with the probation department since she was released.
Do we have contact information for Ms. Goff, Ms. Lake?
Your Honor, I do have a telephone number. I do not know if it's a valid number or not. We do not have a current address for Ms. Goff.
Okay. All right, based on the fact that there's allegations that Ms. Goff has not followed conditions of release and also has not appeared today, it's concerning for the court, especially since the last hearing was just a few short weeks ago. So I will, I'm going to continue this 1 week to January 27th at 8:45, and if Ms. Goff does not appear at that hearing, I will be issuing a warrant. I am going to find that that next hearing is a necessary hearing, and that appearance is necessary for Ms. Goff. And it will, based on the fact that she has failed to appear for court today and also has failed to comply with court orders. Christina Haynes.
So I show Ms. Hayes is not represented.
Let's just see if she's not in the courtroom. Ms. Haynes, are you there? If you are appearing by phone, you need to hit *6 to unmute yourself. All right, I do not see a response. Oh, there you are. Can you please introduce yourself?
Not entered any numbers. Please re-enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
The person whose phone number ends in 6591, can you please introduce yourself?
This meeting ID does not exist. Please re-enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
Okay, that is some sort of automated recording. I'm not sure if there's a person there or not. So no response, Ms. Plyman?
Thank you, Your Honor. I think that there was an attempt to try to log in, if that's what I heard correctly, to the Zoom.
I couldn't hear anything.
It was asking for a meeting ID.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It could have been that. But we can set this one down just in case if it was her, but I'm not seeing any further attempts to unmute.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we can set it down just in case there was some electronic or technology issue.
All right, Jason Heaton.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I represent Mr. Heaton as well as Mr. Feinson. Mr. Feinson had reached out to me. He is currently within the Kalalam calendar, and so he believes he'll be able to step out and participate in this hearing. We'll just set this down, and I'll let him know that Mr. Heaton's been called.
Okay. Thank you. James Einman. James Einman. There's no response. I'm not sure if this individual has an attorney.
I don't show that he does. It looks like the last hearing on December 16th, Mr. Inman failed to appear. A summons was sent for today's date and his FTA was noted. Looks like he last appeared on November the 4th, indicated that he was still working on his license and wanted to screen for the public defender. Given that Mr. Inman does not have counsel on his case, I'd ask to note the FTA if not previously noted, but I'll defer to the court as to whether to summons Mr. Inman for another court date. He is currently still suspended, and I'd ask that the next hearing be made necessary.
All right, thank you. I will go ahead and issue a summons, and let's set the summons for, I'm just looking at the calendar, February 10th at 10:30, and I will make the next court appearance necessary. Austin Langholt. Austin Langholt.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Ms. Powers.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I represent Mr. Langholt. There is an offer from the state in the pipeline. He and I need to have further conversation about that offer, execute the agreement if he is agreeing to the state's proposal. So I'd like to set this out for the 3rd at 10:30. I'd set it sooner, but I know we're pretty booked for February.
Ms. Plyman?
Thank you, Your Honor. I was just looking at the docket real quick. Looks like we'd be close on speedy with that the March date. But given the court congestion, I'll defer to the court as to whether the close proximity to speedy expiration is the continuance with the close proximity.
All right, thank you. I'll go ahead and set this for March 3rd at 10:30 as requested. And speedy trial will be addressed in the newest court order. Devin Leaf. Devin Leaf.
I didn't know if the court noticed Mr. Feinstein did join the Zoom call.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Hello, sir. This is case number XZ0732465. And Ms. Powers.
Thank you, Your Honor. So Mr. Leaf's here on a pretrial matter. I'm going to ask to set this out to the 3rd at 10:30. Ms. Plyman and I briefly discussed this case yesterday. We're going to see if we can come to the table, if there's a resolution possible short of trial. If not, we'll be proceeding one way or the other with resolution or setting trial dates.
All right, thank you. Ms. Plyman?
No objection.
All right, so sir, the next time you need to be in court is March 3rd at 10:30.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Feinstein, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor, and I appreciate the court holding on. I figured it made the most sense to handle. Mr. Heaton was set for 1:30 today, but I figured given the time, if I was able to make it, it made sense to just handle his post-conviction matters with the.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Heaton, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And how are we proceeding today with these cases?
So, Your Honor, as the prosecution execution as far as the open case, as far as the post-conviction cases on probation, did provide both the state and the probation office with proof of Mr. Heaton's completion of an 8-hour ambulance management course. So we'd ask that be considered a resolution of that matter. I do understand there's still a pending case, and I'd ask that if the court is still going to keep the alleged violation open for the no valid operator license case, that they just continue to track along with the next court date.
Okay. Ms. Powers?
Thank you, Your Honor. So I represent Mr. Heaton on a licensing matter. I see within his license, it doesn't appear that, or his ADR regarding his licensing status, there doesn't seem to be anything restricting him from obtaining a license. It says not licensed but eligible, but I don't see prior issuance dates. And so what I'm going to ask is to set this over to March 3rd, 10:30, and then Jason, if you could reach out to my office, we'll discuss how to go about getting licensed, if that's still your wish, or what next steps to take.
Thank you very much.
All right, and I'm just looking here on case ending in 858, it's a revocation. Mr. Feinstein or Ms. Powers, do either of you represent him on that case?
I don't on the revocation, but it appears that Mr. Range previously did, and that he waived on March 21st of 2019.
And on that case, I believe it was added on to track with the newest, or the post-conviction case that's being monitored by probation, and the newest pretrial case. The state has not filed a motion to revoke in that case.
Okay.
That I see anyway. It would be for, if there was a motion to revoke, it'd be for the new law violation.
All right.
Yes.
And so, Ms. Clement, how are you? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to confirm that I did receive the treatment completion, or the certificate from Mr. Feinstein for the 9Z matter. There were two, I think, notices of violations pending with probation, one of which alleged the treatment component, the other was for the new law violation. So I guess I would defer to probation on at least the treatment component to see if the filing satisfies probation, or if a sanction is being sought.
All right, thank you. Ms. Lake?
Yes, Your Honor. My goal this whole time was for Mr. Heaton to complete this class. He finally has completed the class, so that does satisfy what I was looking for. And it sounds like he is eligible for reinstatement on his license. Is that what I heard correctly?
He is eligible to be licensed. I don't see a prior license issued, but there's nothing blocking him from obtaining it.
Okay, I understand. I am satisfied with Mr. Heaton completing the class.
And so, am I hearing correctly that all parties are in agreement to strike the violation?
Yes, Your Honor, I would move to strike it.
And with probation being satisfied as to the certificate that was completed, I have no objection to striking that violation.
All right, I will go ahead and strike the violations, and then set new dates for the pretrial.
Yes, Your Honor. My proposed date was March 3rd at 10:30.
All right, Mr. Heaton, that's the next time you need to be in court, is March 3rd at 10:30.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And just for the record, we can go ahead and strike the 1:30 hearing today.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Feinstein. I will strike that 1:30 hearing today. Did you have any other matters on this morning?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. David Love. David Love. Again, if you are appearing on phone and your phone is muted, press *6 to unmute your phone. There's no response.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I represent Mr. Love. When I checked his ADR last, he was still suspended. Reviewing his ADR now, it appears that is still the case. So hearing that he is not here, my ask would be to set this over for court convenience. Set this over at a date that's convenient for the court, excuse me. He was present at the last hearing. I would ask to note the FTA for speedy trial purposes. If the court doesn't have the objection, March 3rd at 10:30 would work for counsel.
Ms. Pyman?
You kind of did a quick review with the driving license suspended third degree case. Mr. Love appeared for his last 2 court dates and had some failures to appear earlier on in the case. I'd ask to note the failure to appear for purposes of today's hearing, if not already noted. No objection to setting the matter over a couple of weeks. I'll defer to the court as to whether the next appearance would be necessary, given that he did appear the last 2 hearings.
All right, thank you. I will go ahead and set this for March 3rd at 10:30. And I'm not going to make that finding at this time since the individual did show up at the last 2 hearings. And we will see what happens from there. Shalay McCullough.
Your Honor, Nat Jacob appearing on behalf of Ms. McCullough. I don't have any information for the court at this time about her lack of appearance today. I have had an email exchange with counsel, and at this time I'm actually kind of looking for an offer to resolve this case potentially, or thinking about entering her into the omni motion, but that all requires me getting in touch with Ms. McCullough. So at this time, I'd like to just ask that her FTA be noted and that this matter be set over a couple of weeks so that I can try and track her down.
Ms. Pyman?
Your Honor, I do see that Ms. McCullough failed to appear for her last 2 court dates. It does indicate on the docket that this the last summons for this court date. However, we've had kind of a change in the law most recently, so I would ask for the failure to appear not previously noted. I'll defer to the court as to whether a summons is appropriate and whether to note the next hearing is necessary.
All right, thank you. I will go ahead and set this on for February 10th at 10:30. And hopefully have some progress at that point in time. I will not make that finding at this time, that it can be brought up again. All right, Kayla Morrison.
And Your Honor, I'm standing in for Mr. Range on Ms. Morrison's case. I see that she's present, unmuting herself as we speak.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So in this case, Your Honor, we're requesting a status hearing of the 3rd of March. But meanwhile, Mr. Range is likely to file a motion on Ms. Morrison's behalf to put her on that 226 motion hearing that so many others are already scheduled for. And I believe that he's had a discussion with Ms. Morrison about this, and if he hasn't, he'll probably be calling her soon. But that's the plan for now. So just a reset of a status or pretrial hearing to 3/3 at 10:30. Her presence being, subject to the new rule on that. And then meanwhile, Mr. Raines will be filing additional papers to note her up for the 226 hearing.
So Mr. Jacob, isn't it to February 15th?
I believe that, the note that I have, that was my understanding last time.
I can fill you in.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the 15th is a holiday, so the parties
that's
agreed
right. Okay.
off record.
That's right. I'd forgotten that. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Pyman.
Yes.
So the new date is the 23rd or the 22nd, Ms. Pyman?
I think the request was for March 3rd as the next court date, but then defense counsel would note her up on the calendar after having the discussion with.
For which day, February? But the hearings for that are occurring on February 26th, or which date?
That's what my notes indicate, Your Honor. This is the first time I'm seeing this, so I'm just deferring to the note that Mr. Range left me, but I think it's the 26th. And again,
Okay,
there would be
thank you.
subsequent paperwork that would be filed to note that up.
All right, Ms. Plyman, objection to that March 3rd date?
No objection.
Okay. All right, Ms. Morrison, that is the next time that you need to be in court is March 3rd at 10:30, or I'm sorry, yeah, March 3rd at 10:30. You will want to stay in contact with your attorney regarding any other hearings.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thomas Reyna?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyna, if you are appearing by phone, please press *6. I do not see any response.
Thank you. So
Hello? Hello?
Is this Mr. Reyna?
Yeah, good morning. It is him. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
I apologize. My phone's coming in too good.
All right, Mr. Reyna, your attorney, Ms. Powers, is in the courtroom to represent you.
Okay. I apologize. I've been in the hospital. I had a stroke here not too long ago. So I apologize if I'm hard to understand.
All right, thank you, sir, for that explanation, and I do hope that you have a smooth recovery.
And so, Your Honor, with that,
thank you.
With that, I haven't had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Reyna yet about his license. I do have contact information from his conditions of release. And so my suggestion is to set this over to March 3rd at 10:30. And then Mr. Reyna, for your benefit, this is Lily Powers. I'm the attorney appointed to your case. I have your phone number from your conditions of release. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call you later today so we can set up an appointment, okay?
Thank you so much for your time. Can I give you, I believe this is a new number. Can I give this to you?
So, Mr. Reyna, you do just need to call Ms. Powers. The next time you have court is March 3rd at 10:30. It's just important that you give her a call before then, or have some sort of communication with Ms. Powers.
I just wanted to give her a new phone number. It's 360-206-7496. If you understand me.
Yeah, so you said 360-206-7496?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for that correction. I appreciate it.
Well, I sure appreciate you and Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And do I need to stay on the phone, or just I'll be on March 3rd now in person? Is that correct?
Just contact your attorney, Ms. Powers.
Okay, God bless you, and have a safe day.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Right. Goodbye. The next case I'm going to call is Jacob Savage.
Write that down. Do you have the attorney?
Hello? Mark.
Mr. Reyna, please go ahead. Oh, thank you. Okay, Mr. Savage, good morning.
Good morning.
This is case number 2011346DD. Mr. Range. Mr. Range is not on.
I believe you have someone filling in from today.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. It took me a second to unmute.
Oh, that's okay.
This is Nat Jacob appearing on behalf of Mr. Savage, standing in for Mr. Range. At this time, Your Honor, I'll just report to the court that we have been negotiating a possible outcome with the state. We haven't received a response to the newest offer that's been sent over, and therefore we need a little bit more time. What Mr. Range is proposing is that we set this matter over a week or two, depending on the state's ability to process that request and send it back. We would defer to them about whether it should be 1 week or 2 week continuance, Your Honor.
Ms. Playman?
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe 2 weeks would be appropriate just because the calendar I think is getting already pretty full for next week.
All right, Mr. Savage, I am going to set this for February 3rd at 10:30. That's the next time you need to be in court.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Jerry Simmons?
And Mr. Simons is present on Zoom, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm here.
Just
Good
so
morning.
I guess I'll jump in and let defense counsel know as well. The contemplation was to have Mr. Simmett's case refiled in Superior Court and then absorbed into drug court. I thought that it had been handled, but apparently there's an obligation on my behalf to follow up within my office. So I am doing that, but we expect that to be resolved shortly.
And do I have the court's permission to address Ms. Plyman quickly on the record?
You may.
Just a quick clarifying question, Melissa. Is that likely to be refiled through a formal process in Superior Court before it's kind of permed into the agreement? And if so, should Jerry be on the lookout in his mail for a summons to an arraignment over there?
I'm not sure the answer to your question. The process that I have to complete is getting the probable cause statement over, but okay. I'm not sure if Richard would be able to help on that as well. I'm not sure if he's been looped in, or James wasn't sure if he was looped in on that.
So Your Honor, may I address Mr. Simons?
You may.
So Jerry, what that means is that it's just like we had talked about. The plan is to get you in this case into the drug court that you're already doing really well in. And as long as you're on board with that, I think what you should do is just keep an eye on your mail. Make sure your mailing address is current with the court. And then keep an eye on your mail, because you'll probably be receiving a summons to go to Superior Court and have just kind of a formal arraignment on that charge when it gets refiled across the hall, so that they can put it in drug court.
Okay.
Okay, so just be mindful of your mail and call me if you have any questions.
Okay.
So I don't know if sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to suggest either 2 or 3 weeks, depending on if there is a summons that needs to be sent. I am hoping to address this today. So,
if you guys could just send the summons to Believe in Recovery, I go there every week, so it'd be better than my mail.
Jerry, what I want you to do is call the court right after you're done with court today, and just make sure that the clerk knows that that's where you want your mail sent. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, Your Honor, I don't have any problem with the continuance requested by counsel, but perhaps just to make sure that this doesn't happen again, maybe we should set it out to like March 3rd. Give it a little extra time.
I'll defer to the court, especially with the congestion on the calendar.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and set it for March 3rd at 10:30. However, it seems like I feel like I've been informed about what is happening with this case and with the stances, and what's anticipated to happen across the hall. If parties want to submit the dismissal off record, I'd be happy to sign that.
That should be the plan, I think.
Yes, that'd be our preference.
All right, thank you, sir, and good luck with drug court.
Thank you.
Matthew Trout. Matthew Trout. Mr. Trout, are you there?
I saw a message in the
Oh, he's
chat.
there.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Trout. Can you hear me okay? And you're still muted, or I'm not able to hear you. I'm not sure if your microphone is on. It's not unmuting. John. Oh, is John doing it today? Who's hosting?
Yes,
Okay, so, okay, thank you, John. Well, we just got a message from Mr. Trout saying that his Zoom is not unmuting.
Right.
Can you?
He could try, checking out his microphone, making sure the volume's turned up, or he can call in and use the phone for his voice, and I can merge the two, the video and the voice that way.
Mr. Trout, were you able to hear that, what was being said? Okay, I see that you're nodding that. I'm gonna leave this case for just a moment, let you figure out what needs to happen. I'll call another case, but I'll come right back to you, okay? Chalet Umpenhauer.
Your Honor, I'm
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Jacob.
I'm Ms. Umpenhauer's attorney. She's been in close contact with me as recently as yesterday. I told her that she need not be present either in person or by Zoom based on the new rule. And I
Did she sign a waiver?
She didn't, but I'm appearing on her behalf via oral waiver, Your Honor. And I just wanted to cite that the new rule does indicate that that is something that will be allowable.
Okay, so go ahead and outline for me the waiver.
Okay, just that I spoke to her yesterday and that she knowingly is waiving her presence at today's hearing, and knowing that I'm appearing on her behalf.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Umpenhauer does report that she's actually making progress on getting relicensed. It's a big deal for her. She was able to get over the hurdle of making things right with the Child Support Enforcement Division, which was the first major step in that process. And she's proud to say that she's on to the next step, which is to complete the tests, both written and practical, for the Department of Licensing for relicensing. She did complete the written test. She is working on the practical test, which is complicated somewhat by COVID, but she's on it. And then she'll be paying her reissue fee and will be eligible for relicense and hopefully a dismissal of her case. This is all to say that if we set this over to March 3rd at 10:30, I believe that she'll be done by that time. And at the very least, I'll have an update for the court about her progress because she has been so good about keeping in touch.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Plyman?
Thank you, Honor. So I guess the only caveat would be that Ms. Umpenhauer has one of the cases on for arraignment.
Right, so I would just waive speedy arraignment and ask that that be set on the March 3rd date as well.
And I'll defer to the court on that one. But whether waiver is appropriate, she did fail to appear for both her arraignment dates on November the 16th and December the 16th. I understand that she's had this communication with defense counsel, and the understanding was that she would not be there today. But arraignment is then ruled a necessary appearance. So I'll defer to the court on that one.
So Your Honor, I can respond to that briefly if that's okay.
You may.
So, Your Honor, speedy arraignment has been waived several times while Ms. Umpenhauer has been present in previous appearances. And so I'm asking that the court take note of that and allowing for one more waiver of that speedy arraignment.
So Mr. Jacob, so I am clear on what you're actually asking. Are you asking just for the arraignment to be continued or for a waiver of the arraignment?
I'm sorry, I'm asking for arraignment to be continued.
I'm
just saying that we will not be making any sort of objection based on a lack of speedy arraignment, given the fact that that Ms. Umpenhauer is not present at this time. And I anticipate, in the interest of judicial efficiency, that by the time we do actually address substantively this case on the record, that it will be considered kind of in the same basket as the other matter, which I mentioned previously, she's getting relicensed on. They're both the same type of case, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And I do see that they're both the same type of case. I am going to grant the request to continue the arraignment and the other cases to March 3rd at 10:30. However, at that March 3rd date, arraignment will occur unless I've received, so there are some cases where an attorney can waive arraignment and enter a plea of not guilty on cases, but that does need to be in writing. So unless that does happen, then I will be handling the arraignment on that March 3rd date, so that would be considered a necessary date.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. What? It is. Yes, but because it's an arraignment. Thank you. Matthew Trout.
It looks like he's still signing on with his phone.
Yeah, I see that he's working on it.
Push star
so
six, Mr. Trout.
What was that, John?
I was telling Mr. Trout to push star 6 to unmute.
Okay, I can see that he's trying very hard to connect. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep going. All right, John, maybe you can communicate with Mr. Trout and see if there's anything that we can do to assist him with the technology issues.
Will do.
Robert, thank you. I appreciate your help. Robert Vandelays.
I believe that's Mr. Vandelli's in the corner.
I do see him on Zoom. Good morning, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. This is XZ0414892, and your attorney, Ms. Powers, is in the courtroom.
Thank you, Your Honor. So this is a pretrial matter for Mr. Vandelli's. Ms. Plyman and I are currently negotiating this case. So what I would like to do, set this out to March 3rd, 10:30, and hopefully we'll either have resolution or be moved closer to.
All right, Ms. Plyman?
That is correct, Your Honor. I believe we're very close to resolution. No objection to the 3rd.
All right, thank you. So, sir, the next time that you need to be in court is March 3rd at 10:30.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Luke Zimmerman. Luke Zimmerman.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Zimmerman. This is case number XZ0139924, and your attorney, Ms. Powers, is in the courtroom.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I've made an offer in Mr. Zimmerman's case. I'll say for the record and for Ms. Plyman's benefit, a little bit more belated than probably should have been. So my apologies on that. But in order to further negotiation, I am going to ask for a continuance. Also set this over to March 3rd at 10:30, and hopefully we'll come to a resolution.
Ms. Plyman?
No objection.
All right, so sir, the next time you need to be in court is March 3rd at 10:30.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Joshua Keller? Joshua Keller?
Is that?
I will go get Josh Keller right now.
Okay.
I believe that is on for our expired warrants.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Oh, thank you.
I just
all right.
Didn't know if Mr. Leeson wanted to be present.
Thank you. I didn't even notice that. Mr. Keller, can you hear me?
He is on his way into the room.
Okay, no problem. Oh, I understand. Oh, okay, so, sir, it's okay if it takes just a minute. I'm going to set this case down to let him have time to come in. I have a few other cases to call.
Okay, he's right here.
Oh, okay. I don't know if we even have our Mr. Gleason isn't on the line yet, so I'm going to call these other cases first for just a moment.
Okay.
And these are interpreter cases.
No.
The ones
the
that she's
cases
gonna
that
call.
yeah. So thank you, sir. The next case I'm going to call is an interpreter case, and it's David Osana Vaquez.
¿Se encuentra el señor David Osuna Vázquez? ¿Es usted? Está desactivado su micrófono, señor. Encienda el micrófono, por favor. Interpreter is telling him that his mic is muted.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, ¿ya me escucha?
Ahora sí, sí la escuchamos. Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon, or good morning, sir.
Good
Señor,
morning.
buenos días.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
And we do have a resolution for the court.
Y tenemos una resolución para su señoría.
The state would be moving to amend from the criminal charge of no valid operator's license without ID to that of the civil infraction of no valid operator's license with ID. And I am printing that for the court.
Promueve la Fiscalía la modificación del cargo desde el cargo penal de no contar con una licencia validada y no tener un documento de identidad a que sea un cargo civil de no tener una licencia con un documento de identidad.
Okay.
Mr. Jacob, are you representing Mr. Range in this case?
Yes, I am, Your Honor. I'm standing in for Mr. Range to represent Mr. Osuna Vázquez.
Licenciado Jacob, ¿usted está aquí en lugar del licenciado Range? Sí, aquí estoy en representación del señor Osuna Vázquez.
And I did send the motion to amend to Mr. Range prior to this hearing. It's my understanding that this is agreed and that Mr. Osana Vázquez would like until Friday to be able to pay any fine.
I'm sorry, counsel, the interpreter wasn't, what was it that you said about the fines? The audio cut out there at the end.
He would like until Friday to pay any fine that is imposed.
Thank you. Sí, ha enviado el licenciado Range los documentos para la modificación del cargo y está acordado mutuamente el cambio y el señor Osuna Vázquez desea que se le permita hasta el viernes para cancelar las multas.
Okay.
Mr. Jacob?
Licenciado
That's all
Jacob,
correct, Your Honor.
todo es correcto, su señoría.
So, sir, do you understand that your charge is being reduced to an infraction, like a speeding ticket?
Señor, ¿usted comprende que se ha reducido el cargo a una infracción similar a un citatorio por exceso de velocidad?
Okay.
Okay.
There is a fine of $136.
Le corresponde pagar una multa de $136.
¿Está bien?
Okay.
Is this how you are wanting to resolve your case?
¿Es así que usted desea resolver el caso?
Pues es lo mejor. Si tengo que pagar, pago.
That
Yo
would be
pago.
best. If I have to pay, I will pay.
All right. Ms. Plyman, would you like me to affix your signature to this document?
Fiscal Lyman, ¿usted desea que incluya su firma en ese documento? Sí, por favor.
Perdón, no escuché.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Your Honor, may the interpreter repeat the last statement?
Yes. I asked Ms. Plyman if she wanted me to put her signature on this document.
La juez, yo le había preguntado a la fiscal Plyman si ella me autorizaría poner la firma de ella en el documento.
Okay.
Because we're on Zoom, sometimes the documents come to me, and even though they've been reviewed, they haven't been signed.
Ya que estamos realizando la audiencia mediante el Zoom, algunas veces recibo los documentos y aunque ya revisaron los documentos, no los han firmado.
Mr. Jacob, anything further on this matter?
¿Algo más, licenciado Jacob?
The only thing is that I was just reminded by the clerk that there is a tracking infraction here I don't have notes on whether that was part of the negotiation, so I would defer to Ms. Plyman.
Apenas me informó el actuario que hay otra infracción adicional que se está procesando junto con el caso presente y no sé si abarcaron esa infracción en esas negociaciones. Le permitiría entonces a la fiscal Plyman responder.
Ms. Plyman?
It was not included in negotiations, but I did have a chance to review Mr. Sonia Vasquez's record.
No estaba incluida en las negociaciones, pero tuve la oportunidad de revisar el historial del señor Osuna Vázquez.
In consideration of his lack of record as well as the resolution today, I would move to dismiss.
Y en consideración de la carencia de antecedentes del señor Osuna Vázquez y la resolución de hoy, yo promuevo la desestimación de esa infracción.
Okay, thank you.
Gracias.
I am going to strike the infraction, and that's case XZ 03-53289.
Así es que voy a anular la infracción del caso XZ03-53289.
I'm going to grant the request to amend the criminal charge to the infraction of no valid operator license on person with valid ID.
Voy a otorgar la solicitud de modificar el cargo penal a una infracción de no contar con una licencia validada en una persona que sí portaba un documento validado de identidad.
Mr. Jacob, would you like me to affix your signature to this?
Yes, please, Your
Licenciado
Honor.
Jacob, ¿desea que firme por usted? Sí, su señoría, por favor.
Sí.
Okay. There is a fine of $136.
Le corresponde pagar una multa de $136.
It sounds like your attorney said you needed till Friday to make that payment, but I'm happy to give you longer if you need more time.
Al parecer el abogado pidió que le permitiera hasta el viernes para hacer ese pago, pero yo con gusto le puedo permitir más tiempo si usted quiere.
No, está bien, el viernes yo pago.
No, it's fine. I can pay on Friday.
Okay.
Muy bien.
All right. I will leave that as set. Thank you, Mr. Vázquez.
Así queda entonces. Muchas gracias, señor Osuna Vázquez.
Ok, el viernes pago y ya quedo suelto de eso.
All right. I will pay on Friday, and then after that, the case will be resolved.
Yes.
Sí.
Ok, el viernes pago, ok.
All right. I'll pay on Friday. Okay.
Okay. Let me see here. Where am I?
Your Honor, should the interpreter instruct Mr. Osuna Vázquez to disconnect?
Yes, thank you.
Señor Osuna Vázquez, puede usted desconectar en este momento. Muchas gracias.
Ok, gracias. Ok, bye.
Adiós.
Alejandro Salas.
¿Se encuentra el señor Alejandro Salas?
If you are on the phone, please push *6 to unmute.
Si usted está conectado por vía telefónica, presione el símbolo de estrella y el número 6 para activar el micrófono.
Good afternoon. Is this Mr. Salas?
Buenas tardes, ¿usted es el señor Salas?
Okay, I saw someone unmute, but I'm not sure who it is, and there's not any response from that phone.
Vi que alguien encendió el micrófono, pero no ha respondido desde ese teléfono.
Your Honor, that's Mr. Trout's phone.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, there's no response. Ms. Plyman?
Grant, I was just looking over the docket. I think this was the case. Was this the case that was set on? Never mind. I was confusing myself. Looks like he did appear for the last hearing on December the 16th. Was provided counsel at that time. Is Ms. Powers on the case, is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. So I'll defer to counsel whether there's been any communication, but I just want to I would be asking to note the FTA, and I would not object to issuing a summons.
Ms. Powers.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I don't have any information for the court regarding Mr. Salazar's appearance today, but I would be asking to note the FTA and send a summons for our next interpreter calendar. I know the court is cognizant of Mr. Salazar's abilities to participate in a Spanish proceeding.
Do you have the dates for the Spanish?
I do not, sorry.
We'll have to send a summons.
Thank you. The only other piece that I wanted to speak to is, I think Your Honor has advised me about this once before, but are we sending that information in Spanish as well?
There is, the Zoom information is also being sent in Spanish.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Honor.
Right. All right, we will go ahead and send another summons for Mr. Salas. Okay, Alberto Villano Avila. Did I hand that case to you?
Sí, presente.
I'm here.
Good morning.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
And this is Mr. Jacobs' case?
Es el caso del licenciado Jacobs.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I am here via Zoom for Mr. Viana Avalos's sake.
Sí, gracias, su señoría. Estoy aquí. Comparezco mediante el Zoom en nombre del señor Villana Ávila.
And I've had a hard time recently communicating with Mr. Viana Avila. So as a preliminary matter, I just want to make sure that he has my telephone number and you know, he can leave a number with me at his earliest convenience.
Primero que nada, su señoría, cabe mencionar que he tenido dificultades ahora último en comunicarme con el señor Villana Ávila y primero que nada quisiera confirmar que él tenga mi número telefónico y él me podría dejar un recado con su número telefónico para estar en comunicación.
So if the court will permit me, I'd like to address him briefly.
Si me lo permitiera su señoría, quisiera dirigirme a él por un momento.
You may.
Adelante.
Mr. Viana Avila, this is Nat Jacob, your lawyer. I know that we had communication about your case early on, but that seems to have ended recently. And I want to make sure you have my number and that I have a good number for you.
Señor Villana Ávila, habla el Nat Jacobs, yo soy su abogado. Al inicio del caso estábamos en comunicación, pero ahora último no hemos podido hablar del caso y por eso quisiera confirmar que usted tenga mi número telefónico y que yo de igual manera tenga el teléfono de usted para estar en comunicación.
Sí lo tenía, pero quebré el teléfono que tenía, se me quebró, se me dañó y no pude recuperar los contactos.
Okay.
I did have your number, but the phone that I previously had was damaged. It was broken and I was unable to recover the contacts.
Okay, so I will give you my number now. And then what I'd like you to do is after you're done with court today, call my office and leave your new number so I can reach you.
Yo en este momento le voy a dar mi número telefónico y le pido por favor después de la audiencia de hoy que usted marque al número de mi oficina para darles su número nuevo, su número telefónico nuevo para estar en comunicación.
Okay, está bien.
Sounds good.
So are you ready to take down this number?
¿Está listo para apuntar mi teléfono?
Sí.
Yes.
The telephone number is 360-389-2929. 385-5613.
El número telefónico es el 360-385.
Sí.
5613.
Sí.
360-385-5613.
Sí, lo tengo.
I've got it.
All right. So I will proceed with the hearing now, Your Honor, if the court's willing.
Su señoría, procederé en la audiencia de hoy.
Go ahead.
Adelante.
So as I mentioned to Mr. Viana Avila, we actually were in contact, robust contact early on, and I was able to help him work out the kinks of his license.
Como le había mencionado al señor Viana Ávila, al inicio del caso estuvimos muy seguido en comunicación y tuve la posibilidad de ayudarle a arreglar los problemitas que él tenía en cuanto a su licencia.
And the good news is we're right on the cusp of getting his license reinstated, but I need to be able to communicate with him to be able to let him know about what he needs to do to get it reinstated.
La buena noticia es que él está a punto de poder recuperar la licencia, pero necesito yo estar en comunicación con él para mantenerle informado de los pasos que él debe seguir para recuperar la licencia.
So we just need a little bit more time. What I'm asking today is to reschedule pretrial for March the 3rd. And in the interim, I plan to work with Mr. Viana Avila to get relicensed.
Yo le pido a su señoría que nos permita más tiempo y que reprogramen la audiencia próxima para el 3 de marzo y yo en ese transcurso tendré la intención de ayudar al señor Viana Ávila de recuperar su licencia.
Okay, I will, Ms. Plyman.
Fiscal Plyman.
No objection.
Ninguna objeción.
Okay, I am just looking for the next date that we have an interpreter. I will grant the continuance.
Voy a otorgar el aplazamiento, nada más estoy averiguando la fecha próxima en la que tendremos un intérprete.
And I'm just asking John or Brian, who are on Zoom, if you have those dates.
Simplemente le pregunto a John y a Brian, que están conectados por el Zoom, si sabían esas fechas.
I do not.
No. Your
February
Honor,
17th, Your Honor.
February 17th?
Yes.
17 de febrero.
At 10:30?
A las 10:30.
Thank you.
Sí, su señoría, gracias.
So that is the next time this case will be heard.
Entonces, la próxima vez que vamos a ventilar el caso presente sería en esa fecha, el 17 de marzo a las 10:30 de la mañana.
And was that March or February?
Perdón, ¿dijo que marzo o febrero?
That was March 17th or February 17th, Brian?
¿Cuál es? ¿17 de marzo o febrero, Brian?
February 17th.
Okay.
17 de febrero.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Gracias.
And that does conclude that hearing.
Y se concluye la audiencia.
Ok, gracias.
Okay, thank you.
The next case is Armando Sanchez. This is case number CR5238JC, and it is an expired warrant hearing. It is also an interpreter case. I don't know if Mr. Sanchez is on the line. Mr. Sanchez?
¿Se encuentra el señor Sánchez? Armando Sánchez?
There's no response and there's no one in the courtroom. And so, Mr. Gleason, can you go ahead and raise your right hand? Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And can you tell me what you know about this case?
Sure. So this is Brian Gleason, probation officer, Jefferson County District Court. Mr. Sanchez failed to appear at a DUI back on September 12th, 2005. It was noted at the time of his arraignment that he had an INS hold. He failed to then appear at his next pretrial hearing, and no other action has taken place other reissuing the warrant over the lifespan of the case. I did conduct an NCIC criminal background check, as well as a check on the JABER system, which is another criminal history. All of his traffic infractions have been closed due to the age of the case, and there are no hits at all. I would assume that based upon the INS hold that was on him when he was arrested in California back in 2005, that he was probably deported. So at this time, I still would recommend, since I know we're still taking in the country, to dismiss this warrant and close out the case.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gleason. Ms. Plyman?
Thank you, Honor. So we appeared on this case last week on the 11th. It was the state's request at that time to reissue the warrant. This is a predisposition DUI, and the state is not comfortable closing out this case based on lack of information as to Mr. Sanchez's whereabouts. The court indicated that at that time, unwilling to reissue the warrant without probable cause. My office has since provided the court with the probable cause statement from this case. Officer Anglin was on this case and still an active officer with Jefferson County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. I do see that probable cause statement was provided to the court. I have taken a look at that probable cause statement, and I do find that there's probable cause for the charge to go forward, and so I will go ahead and reissue the warrant. All right, I want to say thank you to our interpreter today. I appreciate your time. There are no other interpreter cases, so you are excused. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Great to see you. Take care.
You too. Take care. The next case, Joshua Keller.
Go get Josh. Go get Josh.
Okay.
Josh. 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 Come on. What is? He's coming in right now.
Great, thank you.
What have some way? Okay, you're not muted, so right here.
Hello, Mr. Keller. I'm Judge Walker. This is Jefferson County District Court, and we're here to discuss a warrant that was issued out of this court back in 2018. This case is case 2017C0190, and it was the charge of disorderly conduct. That happened quite a long time ago, and I'm just trying to take a look here. Okay. And it looks like you failed to appear for a hearing, and that's why a warrant issued. And we're here to discuss what should happen with your case going forward, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Kleiman?
Thank you, Your Honor. So I did have a chance to review both the procedural history of this case, but also the probable cause statement in this case. This is a charge from December of 2017. Reviewing the probable cause, there was an indication that Mr. Keller was likely, experiencing, some medical concerns during this event itself. Mr. Jacobs gave me a little bit of background on Mr. Keller and his circumstances now. Given that the state's concerns have been addressed really with his, where he's at and what he's undergoing right now, I would move to dismiss in the interest of justice.
All right, thank you. Mr. Gleason, did you have anything to add?
No, Your Honor, that was my recommendation considering the recent outcome of his case out of the city of Lacey, in October 2020 and why that charge was dismissed. I would be following the same recommendation.
All right, Mr. Keller, I am going to be dismissing this case in the interest of justice. And so that means that this case is now closed and the warrant is quashed and you don't have to worry about any of that out of this court anymore, okay?
Okay, I do have one question. Hopefully I'm not doing so to my own peril.
No, you can go ahead and ask your question. The case is already dismissed. Mr. Keller, what's your question?
Okay, I was just wondering, and maybe this is outside your jurisdiction, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to be in alignment with the truth. Do I have anything else on my record beyond this warrant?
Well, I can take a look and see if there's any other warrants. I think that's...
I don't know, I'm not even sure that's your responsibility, so I apologize twofold about that.
That's okay. Just give me a moment. It looks like you do have another warrant out of Stevens District Court. And it looks like they're, let's see here. So that's the only warrant that I'm seeing is out of Stevens District Court.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Plyman, may I affix your signature to this document?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Okay, I have signed that order of dismissal. Thank you, sir. And the individual with you, Mr. Keller, I just wanted to say thank you for your patience. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're done, Josh.
All right, Matthew Trout. It looks like okay, Mr. Trout. Hopefully we can
Hello.
get this going. Hello, sir.
Hi. Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you for your efforts to get the technology to work. Sometimes it's a bit of a hassle. So thank you. This is case number
no
XZ0254299. And how are we proceeding today?
Are you asking me? I would ask for a dismissal, a motion to dismiss. I know we went through it once. Otherwise, I'd leave it up to Ms. Plyman. I know we haven't talked in a while, so.
Thank you, Your Honor. So Mr. Trout's case was previously set for a motion hearing back on November the 23rd. Mr. Trout failed to file any motions for that hearing and then failed to appear for the hearing. His FCA was noted at that time and a summons was issued for December the 16th. Mr. Trout did appear for his hearing on December the 16th. Although I was not present for that hearing, I believe that trial was discussed at that hearing and the matter was set over to the status calendar where we were kind of discussing where we were at with trials on January the 6th. Mr. Trout failed to appear at that time. His failure to appear was noted, and it was noted that he would be summoned for the 20th, which is today's date. It'd be the state's intention at this time to select a trial date. The parties have been unable to come to an agreement on any negotiation for resolution. The state is unwilling to dismiss at this time, and I'll defer to the court as to whether we should select a trial date or set a status.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Trout, any objection to a trial date being set?
No.
Okay, let's go ahead and set the trial date for March 25th. Motions in limine will be heard March 22nd at 10:30. Trial will start at 8:30 on March 25th. And then I will set a status for March 10th. If any other motions are going to be heard, motions to dismiss are going to be heard, those do need to be filed by that readiness on March 10th. And I am, because Mr. Trout is representing himself and the failures to appear at other hearings, I am making this a necessary hearing.
I'm sorry, which one?
The March 10th.
The March 10th.
And the March 22nd, both of those.
So the 10th and the 22nd are unnecessary, and the 25th is the trial date?
They are necessary dates. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong, let's see here. The date on March 10th, the hearing time will be 8:45. The login information that you use today is the same login information that you can use on that date if you don't appear in person. I said it was necessary.
So that doesn't mean they need to be in person?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
Any questions, Mr. Trout?
For subpoenas of the officers and the city employees, I'll be filing that with the court. Is there a deadline for when to file those?
So that's giving legal advice, and I'm sorry that I cannot do that.
Well, okay, no worries. I'll just get them filed.
Okay, so, and just so you know, Mr. Trout, the motions in limine date on March 22nd is a date that you need to be in court in person.
March 22nd, and then the 10th is Zoom?
You can appear in person or by Zoom on the 10th, but if you have any additional motions to dismiss, those do have to be filed by the 10th.
All right, I just a heads up for the court, I will be filing one prior to the 10th. Will all these dates remain the same? If I file that before the 10th, we'll just have another date somewhere in here for that, and then...
Right now, these are the dates that I'm setting.
So March 10th will be, if I file a motion to dismiss prior to March 10th, March 10th will be the date for the motion to dismiss?
March 10th is the readiness.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Trout.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It does look like Miss Haynes was able to join us.
Christina Haynes?
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sorry, I apologize. I was having trouble with my technology.
All right, I understand. Just as a reminder, court does start at 10:30.
I'm aware. Thank you. I'm sorry.
And just so you know, these hearings are important. So if you're having technology issues, make sure that you call the court or your attorney. This is case number XC.
I'm not really aware of who my attorney is or who I'm supposed to call.
She's unrepresented, Your Honor.
Oh, do you have an attorney?
I do not.
Okay. Have you filled out the application for the public defender?
I have not.
Are you wanting to?
I'm sorry.
Are you wanting to be screened for the public defender?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you can get that application either on our website or by calling the clerk's office. We can email that to you, or we can send it in the mail to you, or you can just get it off our website. I'm going to ask that you go ahead and get that document and fill it out as soon as you can and get it back to the court as soon as you can.
Okay.
Ms. Kleiman?
No objection to the continuance for Ms. Haynes to screen, especially based on the nature of the charge.
Okay, I am going to set this for March 3rd at 10:30. And I do expect that you will appear on time, or have call, if you're having technology difficulties, call the court.
Okay, I will definitely do that. I'm sorry, I apologize again.
That's okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the last case I have is Eugene Young, which is also an expired warrant case. Mr. Gleason.
So, Your Honor, this is a pretty quick and easy case for Mr. Young. This appears to have been a direct file and request for a warrant from the prosecutor's office. Mr. Young is currently held in custody in Spokane County on $500,000 bail or bond for his pending charges. He is currently over there, it appears to be on kidnapping with sexual motivation and rape second charges. He has a pretty lengthy history as well of domestic violence charges and assault. So I would ask that this warrant be reissued.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Pyman.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have had a chance to review Mr. Young's case as well. Mr. Gleason is correct that Mr. Young has never appeared. This was a request for issuance of a warrant at the initiation of the case. I did review the no contact order that's alleged to have been violated here is still in effect. And I also reviewed the probable cause statement, so I would ask the warrant reissued.
Okay, I will go ahead and reissue this warrant. Ms. Pyman, how much would you like the warrant to be?
Sorry, one moment.
That's okay.
I think based on the nature of the charge, I'd ask for $10,000.
All right, I will issue it in that amount. So I just want to check something first. Is this, Ms. Pyman, is this allegation of protection order violation to do with alleged victims or victims in the other case that he's currently being held on?
It was the victim of the assault 3 from 2017.
Okay.
So I can double check and see if it's listed for the. I don't know. It's not Miss Wyrick.
Okay. All right. I will issue the warrant in the amount of $10,000. All right, and I think that concludes our afternoon calendar. Thank you.